conversations now. On your feet at 5, we are learning more about the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. According to a state senator in Texas, the commander at the scene of the shooting was not informed about the 911 calls coming from inside the school building.
Senator Roland Gutierrez said that the calls were going to the city police department and not communicated to the school police chief, Pete Arredondo. Well, since the shooting, there's been a push for stricter gun laws and tighter school security.
Yeah, our Brandon Simmons joins us now, and there are some new details you want to bring us about a new bill that just passed the Ohio House and the Senate that would allow teachers to carry weapons in schools without hundreds of hours of training.
Right, yeah, that's something that's coming very soon here. We already know the governor has kind of given his support, but as you said, following the country's most recent school shooting in Uvalde, lawmakers from around the country and here in Ohio have been searching for ways to harden school security, but arming teachers has long been a very controversial issue. Now still, Ohio legislators passed House Bill 99 yesterday, which requires teachers have up to 24 hours of training to carry a firearm in schools. It would also require up to 8 hours of recurring training every single year. Now, a list of those qualified educators who complete training also must be sent to the state once that training is complete. Now, this new law will undo an Ohio Supreme Court decision that would have required teachers to have hundreds of hours of training, as you said, similar to police officers. Now, Democrats have said that they think the bill is being rushed, including the fact that there isn't actually a minimum number of training hours that's actually required. But Governor DeWine has already said he intends to sign the bill, so most likely this will become law sooner than we may think.
Wow, we know how legislators on both sides of the aisle feel on this issue. What about teachers, though? I imagine there's probably a split there, too.
Yeah, there's definitely a split there as well. I spoke to the vice president of the Ohio Education Association, which represents more than 100,000 teachers right here in Ohio. And that group opposes the law, saying first that teachers shouldn't have to act as educators and peace officers at the same time, especially when you're providing what they say is an insufficient amount of training. Now, instead, the union would like to see lawmakers focus more on the weapons themselves.
Most Americans, when you look at the polls right now, are for some common sense gun reform. Let's start with the problem. The problem is guns. So the answer isn't to bring more guns into the schools.
Now, there are also other gun control advocates who say they're not supporting this law, including the Ohio Fraternal Order of Police. But each school board will have the final say on whether or not they allow teachers to be armed. So Ohio joins more than 24 other states that do allow teachers to be armed in some form. But of course, those local school districts, your school board members who you vote for, those are the people who have the final say.
All right. Well, I mean, we're all impacted by this, so
sure.
Obviously it's something to keep an eye on. I'm sure the conversations will continue.
They'll go on, especially at the local level, for sure.
All right. Thanks so much, Brandon.
Sure.